Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the WCA Services Incorporated webinar this morning featuring Motorola Solutions. So today we're going to talk about public safety solutions utilizing body-worn cameras. My name is Michael Lamont. I'm the Director of Programs and Services at the Wisconsin Counties Association. Our partners here from Motorola will be presenting today. If you have questions throughout, you can use the Q&A function or the chat function. If you've joined us by phone, you can use *9. And then we will unmute you for your question. After the presentation, which should run probably 60 minutes, if you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or others at WCA, or obviously the individuals from Motorola as well. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Derek. Good morning, Derek.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Thank you. Hi, and good morning. I am Derek DePietro, an account executive for 51 of the counties in Wisconsin, as well as the state agencies. I am joined here by Mary Ersham, who only joined Motorola 4 days ago. She covers 21 of the eastern states of Wisconsin and is taking over for Peter Gifuta, who you may know, took a new role at Motorola. Mary brings a wealth of state and local government experience and is excited to meet you.
Hello, everyone. I am excited to meet you, and I'm excited to see the presentation today.
Thank you, Mary. So I'm coming to you from Chicago at the Motorola Solutions Innovation Center. Many of you probably are aware that Motorola is in the radio business. You might be asking yourself, I thought this was a body camera webinar. Well, you're right, it is. And about a year and a half ago, Motorola acquired WatchGuard, an industry leader in body-worn cameras and in-vehicle cameras. Today, my colleague Kevin Bradley will take you through about 45 minutes of information on the WatchGuard portfolio, leaving 15 minutes for questions. Thank you, and Kevin, take it away.
There we go. Thanks, Derek. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Bradley. I'm a sales engineer with Motorola/WatchGuard. So I'll be taking you through all of our video products that we have today. So like Derek was saying, when people hear Motorola, people tend to think about radio and public safety. So radio, yes, public safety, yes. But Motorola has really broadened its portfolio over the last 10 plus years, either through intelligent acquisitions or homegrown solutions. We're trying to be a one-stop shop for public safety customers. So whether that's CAD, records, 911, radio, video systems, we're trying to check that box and be that single point provider for all of our public safety customers. So in the video space, we have a few different offerings. We are here to talk about WatchGuard, but through Vigilant, we do license plate recognition. Through Avigilon and Pelco, we do fixed video systems. And of course, with WatchGuard, we do our body-worn camera and in-car video systems. So when it comes to video, Motorola really has a full comprehensive end-to-end portfolio, whether it's devices at the edge or back-end management, video management software. So what that looks like, the workflow of collecting this different information and managing this information and getting it to the people that it needs to get to looks like this slide here. So at the beginning we have our community engagement. So whether it's a tipping solution or citizens submitting cell phone videos, stuff like that, we can integrate into these different solutions and ingest video from different points, whether it's our tipping solution, other tipping solutions. From a capture standpoint, we have different capture devices, whether it's a body-worn camera, an in-car vehicle system, or officers using smartphones or smart devices. We have a variety of different ways to ingest and capture this different digital information at the edge. For management, we have a great back-end office through our Command Central suite. So whether it's managing all of your different video files, creating cases, the next step of that is expediting that out to your prosecutors and external judicial partners. So to my first point about the offerings that Motorola has and the benefits that you, the customer, have of going with Motorola is we're trying to integrate these otherwise disparate platforms and combine them together. So the first thing that we've approached is combining our record systems with our video evidence management. So from the perspective of creating a discovery package for your prosecutors, instead of going to system A and burning a disk, system B and C, and so on. We can unify our CAD and record systems with our case management and video management systems. So instead of having to burn multiple disks and do all this extra effort, we streamline that workflow for the users and can create a single discovery package that has the entire story behind it. So WatchGuard is a leader in video, mobile video. We are number one in the in-car video space, number two in body worn. In the state of Wisconsin, we've got over 100 great customers, all the way from Ozaki to Trempealeau. So speaking from the WatchGuard perspective, WatchGuard is based in Allen, Texas. It's a suburb outside of Dallas. Everything is built and designed in that facility. So everything is American made from the ground up, and we do everything ourselves. We don't outsource to any third-party people to do anything for that. WatchGuard, a core foundation of their ethics is trying to put the officer first and trying to make the experience, whether it's the hardware at the edge, the software on the back end, to make it as easy and as streamlined as possible. So we do that a few different ways. By simplifying technology as much as we can, making buttons very big and easy to press, making icons very large, and user interfaces very intuitive. We try to automate everything as much as we can. Typically, that goes with automatic activation of body cameras in the area when another one gets activated. With the record after the fact feature, we can try to anticipate every situation. I'll talk a little bit about that moving forward. So the WatchGuard solution is one big integrated system. Whether you're going with an in-car solution, motorcycle solution, just body-worn cameras, or interview room, it's one big ecosystem at the end of the day. The different products work better. So some people I know are thinking that only body-worn cameras are only things that they need, and if you choose to go that route, the body-worn camera system is works great by itself, but the value proposition is increased heavily when you incorporate it with an in-vehicle system. Not only just additional viewpoint, but the integration between the different products, like I mentioned before, automatic activation of body cameras. When you go to review those videos on the back end, you're not viewing one video, you're viewing all those videos that were from that same incident side by side. So this is what the 4RE in-vehicle camera system looks like, outfitted in a vehicle. So up by the headrest there, you can see a couple different options. So one is our wireless mic pack. So from an in-car video perspective, a lot of users are used to this. It's a 900 megahertz, 1,000-foot plus range, little wireless mic pack. So if you're just looking at it strictly an in-car video system, this would be your audio source for outside the vehicle for the officers. When you next to that is our previous generation of body camera, the Vista. So when the body camera is part of the vehicle system, we can now ditch that mic pack, and the body camera becomes that audio source from outside the vehicle. You can see on the far top right there, we've got a rear seat camera, super wide angle, infrared, for low light conditions. To the right of the rear view mirror, we have a dedicated display. It's colored touchscreen display, has a few tactile buttons at the bottom, but also a colored touchscreen display. Again, very big, easy to press buttons. Everything's clearly labeled, very easy for users to learn the system and be off and running with it. Also behind the rear view mirror, you can barely see it there, but that's our popular pano cam, which we'll talk about in the future here. I'll mention it because it's pictured, but below the radar system can be interfaced into the video system as well, so we can see if the officer was shooting radar, what the speed of that vehicle was, and incorporate that as a watermark in the recording. So here's a better view of what the color display looks like. Again, we've got some nice physical buttons at the bottom there for kind of our routine operations, and then for more of the settings and other options within the system, you can access all those through that color touchscreen display. It's typically mounted in that area up in the visor area, but we can mount that anywhere in the vehicle, wherever it's convenient. One of the features that the 4RE provides is the ability to record in multiple different resolutions. So a scenario is if I go to a traffic stop, I don't know what that's going to be. I start recording that video, and it could just be a routine traffic stop. It could escalate into a much more severe situation. The routine traffic stop, I won't need a super high quality copy of that video because nobody will likely complain. It's just going to continue going on. But in the event that that escalates into a serious situation, I have the option after I stop the recording and I get back to my car to say whether or not I want a super high quality version of this versus a standard quality. So while we don't know what that situation is going to be when we hit record, the system's going to be recording in multiple different resolutions. And after we stop that recording, we can pick which quality of resolution we want to keep. So record after the fact is the secret sauce of WatchGuard, if you will. So what record after the fact does is kind of an ultimate safety net for missing videos. We all know how the media will react once they find out that someone had a camera and that camera wasn't recording during an extreme situation. So record after the fact is kind of an ultimate safety net to make sure that you get that recording when you need it. So how it works is when a body camera, I'm wearing a body camera and I'm going to go talk to someone. I press record, the camera starts recording. I have my interaction, I walk away and I press stop. That's a recorded video that I say, this is where I want a video to start and where I want this video to end, that gets uploaded at the back end. So what record after the fact is doing is basically recording outside of, whenever I tell the camera to record. This is a feature that can ultimately be turned on or turned off. We've got a lot of great success stories with it. So the scenario with a record after the fact is, maybe, I get rushed from behind and I don't, have half a second to turn on my body camera. Maybe I'm just talking to someone normally and the situation escalates and, I don't have a moment to reach for my body camera. We can go back in time essentially and say, from today, from, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., let's create a video from that time frame. So that buffer is kind of always running there. This is a feature that we offer both in our in-vehicle camera system as well as our body-worn camera system. And again, we've got a lot of great success stories behind it. It's a heavily patented feature, so this is a key differentiator with the WatchGuard Motorola solution. So here's a view of what our camera looks like. We have a few different camera options for the in-vehicle camera, but this is our most popular one. It's called the panoramic camera. So you can see that there's actually two camera lenses. The one up at the top is the actual panoramic lens. The way that we say the field of view is basically pillar to pillar. The bottom one is a rotatable turret. So that bottom turret can rotate around 360 degrees, and that's more of a traditional narrower view. So this is very advantageous. You can see it by that graphic up at the top there. If you were to do a traffic stop, and that bottom left image is your typical dash cam, the top camera or the top image there is your panoramic view. So if you are talking to that person, you go off to the side, a traditional camera would miss that content, but that panorama can cover it. I'll also wheel in my little demo kit here just to see how small this thing is. We typically tuck it behind the rear view mirror of the vehicle, so it's not intrusive to the user. And then again, this turret can rotate around 360 degrees. All right. So I mentioned before how the cameras are integrated at the edge, but they're also integrated with the back end when you're reviewing those videos. So how we can do that is by synchronizing playback of different videos on the back end. So scenario with that is, like I mentioned, in the vehicle system, the body camera acts as the audio source for when the officer's outside of the vehicle. So I've got video and audio being recorded from the vehicle, video and audio being recorded from the officer. So when these linked events are being played back on the back end, I can pick and choose and synchronize these videos up. I can play them back side by side. I can say, I want to watch the video from the car, but I want to listen to the audio from the body camera. So it's very easy to, play these back side by side and get a lot of value out of that. From an upload perspective, Motorola/WatchGuard is very flexible with working with your IT infrastructure. So when it comes from uploading from the vehicles or uploading from the body cameras, we can check that box no matter which way you want to approach it. Whether it's offloading from Wi-Fi at the station, dedicated docking station for the body cameras inside the station, or as FirstNet and Verizon continue to evolve, leveraging modems in the vehicles that you may or may not already have, and being able to upload as you record from the vehicle. So I mentioned we can do license plate recognition as well. Motorola acquired Vigilant Solutions a few years ago as well, which is the industry leader in license plate recognition technology. So if you know anything about license plate recognition, they're specialty cameras that are put out there. They're not just standard cameras. They're meant to read a car going 100 miles an hour in the opposite direction at nighttime. But for a way that we can repurpose our existing in-vehicle camera is to add on the license plate recognition capability. And tying into the database that Vigilant has is the real value. That Vigilant database has over 20 billion reads. We get license plate reads from customers, but also from tow truck companies and different municipalities that have these cameras outfitted on them that are constantly going around reading plates and contributing to that database. So what that looks like is we leverage our existing in-car camera system. On the laptop inside the vehicle, there's a application. So the officer in the car has a nice visual indication of cars as they're driving around and scanning different license plates. But a great use case for this is doing a traffic stop. You don't know who you're going to be talking to when you do that traffic stop. So before you get out of the car, we can recognize that license plate, query it against that massive Vigilant database, and give that officer a little bit more information about that vehicle and who they might be pulling over. Things along the lines of sharing hot lists with your neighboring agencies, all that stuff still applies. You're still tied into this whole Vigilant database with that. Here's another graphic of kind of what that screen looks like there. And again, as you're driving around, it'll pick up license plates and contribute to the database. But then also, if those license plates are part of a hot list, it'll alert the officer with a notification saying, hey, this car has been stolen or what have you. All right, so now we'll be talking about the V300 body-worn camera. So I mentioned before, our previous generation was called the Vista. This V300 we started shipping at the beginning of last year. So for the sake of a competitive landscape, this is the latest and greatest body camera that's on the market. One of the key features here is the detachable battery. So this is a 12-hour battery, but depending on how officer shifts go, 12-hour shifts are very common these days, and shifts running long for longer calls are very common as well. So having a 12-hour battery with the detachable one, the battery is very advantageous. Batteries are cheap. Officers can keep a spare battery in their car if their shift runs long. If their battery wasn't charged all the way when they started their shift, they can easily and quickly swap out a new battery. Every other body camera manufacturer does not have a replaceable battery. So if that battery dies, that body camera is dead in the water until you're able to recharge it. Get to a charger and then spend 3+ hours charging it. I'll also add that a lot of agencies require that if an officer is working a off-duty private security type of job, that they bring their body camera with them and use that there as well. So from the perspective of working a shift and then working outside of your police job, private security gig, you can swap in a new battery and be off and running with another 12 hours to go. Again, coming back to the methodology of WatchGuard, it's a very simple interface. Recording is activated by just a single tap on the front here. We've got LEDs to indicate to the public that they're being recorded. We can go into a covert mode for nighttime operations. And then this camera lens is very special as well. It's a super wide angle lens. So the previous generation of WatchGuard body camera had a mechanical turret. So based on, if I'm a shorter person or a taller person, where I'm wearing this camera on my body, I can move the camera lens turret up or down to kind of get that sweet spot field of view. So we've taken that mechanical turret and made it electronic in this generation. So users can either, with an app or from their settings that are stored in the system, they can say, okay, I'm used to wearing it, on my belt clip. Let's tilt it up 10 degrees. Again, shorter officers, taller officers, larger chests, anything along the way, we can accommodate, getting that critical view. We have 128 gigabytes of storage on here, which is double what anybody else has in the marketplace. So at 720p resolution, that's over 30 hours of video. So again, when we come back to that scenario where users are bringing their body cameras to their outside jobs, they can record, plenty of, more than enough video for, several shifts. So the top of the body camera features an integrated display. So this allows the users to quickly and easily glance down and see kind of what the camera is doing, whether that's, what my battery signal is, whether I've got a GPS fix, the connectivity to the vehicle, time and date, whether I'm recording. We can also categorize events from here. So typically agencies have, a handful of tags that they apply to, different videos. So whether, that's a citation, a DWI, what have you, instead of having to pull out a smartphone that pairs to the body camera and, pull up an app, I can do that right from the device here. A lot of users get kind of muscle memory. Okay, I stopped recording that video. It's 2 clicks on here, and that's a a citation. So the camera lens, I already talked about that. We can go up 15 degrees and then down, I believe, another 25 degrees as well. I mentioned record after the fact before. So we have record after the fact on the vehicle. We also have that on the body camera as well. So very, very advantageous feature. Due to the nature of that, where the body camera is essentially always recording, it's important to keep in mind that, this record after the fact buffer isn't something that is normally done. Usually it's for extreme events only. It's an administrative function. So usually only 1 or 2 people within an agency have the permission to do it. They usually need to get permission from the chief to perform this record after the fact. But the key is that we can record that critical evidence that we may have missed from our body camera. So we have a smart control app that can be paired to the body camera. So whether it's iOS or Android, we can pair to this body camera. This allows users to review videos in the field from their smart device, as well as apply any additional tags. So they can pull up a keyboard, type in the case number, and get a live view of their video, as well as change any settings on the brightness of the LEDs, go into covert mode, change the camera lens, all those things. So the key here is, it's one big integrated system. We get multiple different vantage points, and often whether it's just a body cam video or just a dash cam video, that single video doesn't really tell the full story. So a lot of our customers find a lot of value in having both the body camera to give that first person perspective, as well as the vehicle camera to provide that external perspective. So from a digital evidence management standpoint, the incorporation of WatchGuard into Motorola has led us with kind of 2 different management solutions. So the legacy solution for that is the WatchGuard Evidence Library, and the Motorola end is the Command Central Vault, which is part of our Command Central real-time crime center type applications. So currently, and both back ends work with the WatchGuard devices. So whatever works best for your agency, whatever you're looking for, we can accommodate either or. If you're already invested in the Command Central space with other products like Aware, we can just bolt on this Command Central Vault, and you can use that as your focal point for managing all of your digital evidence. But the evidence library is also a very well-established product as well. So with these, we offer both a local on-premise solution, a cloud-based purely cloud-based software as a service type solution, or something in between with a hybrid where you have a server on site and things that your routine video gets stored on site, and content that's going to be kept longer for long-term cases, homicide, stuff like that all gets pushed to the cloud offsite. So again, coming back to that point where we can accommodate whatever infrastructure and technical needs you guys are asking for, we can accommodate that. We don't put you in a box and say this is our solution, like it or leave it. We work around what infrastructure you guys have and which way you're looking to go. So I mentioned earlier too, we have integration into our Spillman Flex and Premier One CAD and record systems. A big advantage is being a Motorola customer and buying an additional Motorola product with this WatchGuard solution is that these connectors to connect these different products together, you get at no cost. This is something that we charge for customers that don't have our CAD and record systems. So we can show cost savings right up front of the value of going with a Motorola solution across the board. So in that screenshot there is a nice view of what I was mentioning earlier, how we can go into our record systems and pull out narratives and vehicles and suspects. We can go into our video management system and pull out body camera videos and court documents and citizen submitted cell phone videos. We can aggregate this all into one consolidated discovery package and share this out with our prosecutors. Prosecutors love this. They love, agencies love this, not having to manage all these disparate systems and go to all these different systems to, burn all these different disks and hand it all over. All of this is, done through the cloud, whether you're an on-premise customer or a pure cloud-based customer, all this is delivered through the cloud. Once it's shared with your prosecution, they have the option to subscribe to a discovery package. So in the event that a video gets added to a case after that discovery package has been delivered, they can subscribe to that package. So if a new video gets added, they say, hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you've been subscribed to this package and there's a new video in here, here's this update, and click this link and see the new video that's been added on there. So it takes a lot of the administrative overhead of sharing this evidence outside of the agency. It just consolidates it and streamlines that whole workflow. Here's another video here with our synchronized video playback. Again, you get the different vantage points of the vehicle camera as well as the body camera. We've got rich data to show where this one video starts, and the dash cam starts and then the body cam starts shortly thereafter. Playing those videos back side by side and synchronizing them is very advantageous. Whether you're going with the evidence library product or the vault product, both feature case management features. So we can build cases from within the software. We can add on and ingest any external data, whether again that's cell phone videos, PDFs, Word documents, whatever. We can add in as much information as you want to create a consolidated single package for your prosecution. I mentioned, how everything is shared through the cloud. So again, whether you're already in the cloud or you're still with an on-premise server, we create kind of a dedicated bucket, if you will, for sharing these cases out. You are the masters of your data, so you set the permissions of what these external partners can do with this data, whether they can just view it, just download it, and follow that chain of custody as different the files get shared with different partners outside of your agency. Derek, you want to talk about this promotion here?
Hi, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, so Motorola is excited to continue our long relationship with the WCA and the WCA Services, Inc. To celebrate, we are offering a 10% discount above and beyond the WCA discounted price we already offer at the stakeholders of Wisconsin. To take advantage of this new discount, please reach out to myself, Mary, or Steve Doble, who's the WatchGuard representative covering Wisconsin. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll now open it up for questions, starting if those in the chat, which I did not see any. So if there are any questions? Be back to you, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. So again, thanks for joining us this morning. If you have any, it doesn't look like there's any questions in the Q&A or the chat. If you do have questions after this about anything related to Motorola, please feel free to reach out to myself at the Counties Association or Derek. This presentation was recorded and will be on our website as well. So we'll give you 30 minutes back of your day. Thanks for joining us again, and we look forward to speaking with you.